Do you have a dish that takes you back to childhood with just one bite? I have many, but one of my favorite is martabak telur. Hi friends, and welcome back to Lila at Home. This is the first in a series called Memory Bites, food that evokes memories. One of the reasons I like cooking so much is to recreate dishes that have memories attached to it. One bite reminds me of so much. Being in New Zealand, it's not that easy to get authentic Indonesian food. The hardest to get are the typical street food. So easy to get street food in Indonesia, but not so easy to recreate it at home, away from home. For me, one such dish is martabak telur. It's basically an omelet with a lot of spring onions and a spicy mince, and it's cooked inside this very thin pastry. I'm fascinated with how the pastry is thrown to thin it out. As a child, I'd be transfixed watching this happen. I still am, even now. This is one of the things I wanted to learn to make in New Zealand. Let me show you how to make martabak telur at home, away from home. First, you need to make the wrapper dough. Mix 30 grams of oil, 1 teaspoon salt, and 100 ml of water into 200 grams of high-grade flour. Mix till combined. Tip under the kitchen bench and knead till a smooth dough forms. Adding more flour as needed. Cover and let rest for at least 30 minutes. When the 30 minutes is up, roll dough into a log and divide it into 8 pieces. Pour some oil in a bowl. Roll each portion into a tight ball and place in the oil. Roll the balls around in the oil to make sure they're all covered. Set aside for at least 1 hour while you prepare the spicy mince mix. Heat some oil in a pan and saute 1 diced onion till fragrant. Add about 125 grams of mince, or if you want to make this vegetarian friendly, use firm tofu instead of mince. Break up the pieces of mince as it cooks. Add 2 teaspoons of curry powder and a pinch of salt. Continue cooking until the mince is done. If you're using tofu, continue cooking until the liquid has evaporated. Now comes the fun part of assembling the martabak telur. Thinly slice about 4 stalks of spring onions or scallions. In a mug, add 1 handful of sliced spring onions, about 3 teaspoons of the mince mix, crack an egg into it, add salt and pepper, beat until well mixed. Clear an area on your bench. Take one of the dough balls and flatten it with the palm of your hand. Take hold of one side of the flattened dough and throw it to stretch. Carefully pick it up again and repeat the throwing until the dough stretches out paper thin. This took me a few tries to get right without ripping. You could also use a rolling pin to thin, and then pull the edges out to thin the dough even more. I don't have a large wok like they have in the shops in Indonesia, so I use my crepe maker for the first stage. If you don't have a crepe maker, use your largest pan or cast iron. Place some oil on the crepe maker. Lift the paper-thin dough and gently place on the surface of the crepe maker. Then pour the egg mix onto it. Fold in the sides to form a rectangle. Flip and cook the other side. Continue with the rest of the dough balls. Once you have a stack of pre-cooked martabak telur, you can freeze or refrigerate them as a stack with a parchment paper in between them to then fry at another time. For the dipping sauce, put 1 tablespoon of chili sauce in a bowl. I use the Indonesian sambal ABC, but you can also use sriracha if you can't find this in your Asian shop. Add 1 tablespoon of kecap manis and about 2 tablespoons of malt vinegar. Mix and set aside. Heat about 1 centimeter or half an inch of oil in a pan, preferably cast iron. Once heated, carefully slide in one of the martabak. When one side is nice and golden and crispy, carefully flip it to the other side. The martabak is already cooked. This is just to get the skin crispy. It won't take too long. Lift and drain the excess oil out. Place on a chopping board. Cut into 6 pieces. And enjoy with the dipping sauce. If you enjoyed this first video of Memory Bites, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss out on the next Memory Bites. I will also be featuring favorite dishes from friends and the stories they have of those dishes. Check out my other cooking videos. Until next time, thanks for watching. Bye. So good. Even my daughter Jamie agrees.